Yes, my king.
What that made you lie?
Yeah.
You seen that?
I know what I like. I want to know what you like.
Whatever you actually make sure you see it. There's a running joke that there's 90% of the
No, what? 90? No, I'm like 60%. I've seen
that you've seen 60
that I've seen, yeah.
for the
Yeah, I've seen about 60.
culturally black movies.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I started.
I
just see a little piece of joke and he's like, well, I ain't seen that.
He made up some time. He made some time. Netflix helped
I had to go back. I had to back, you know. What's going on, everybody? I'm Dan the Realtor. Today, Gen Z, the next generation, is making moves in the housing market. Major lending changes that could drain your wallet. Today, we got the DMV Real Estate Report, the Real Estate Hot or Not. Then we're going to jump into the comments section. Welcome to the Real Estate Wire, folks. What's going on, everybody? I'm Dan the Realtor.
Coach Marcus, what up?
And today we got a special guest. We got Pedro Meneses. Did I say your last name right?
Meneses.
Meneses. Lo siento, amigo.
Meneses is about 20 minutes from my house.
Meneses
Right.
is.
I always tell people, just think of Meneses except with ease.
Really?
Meneses.
You really do that?
I do. I gotta correct people.
You gotta fix these gringos.
Meneses.
Okay.
So Pedro is a realtor with Compass now, right?
That's right. I'm with Compass.
So how's it going, man? Tell us a little bit about your business, broski.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm team leader for Monarch at Compass.
Okay.
So it's a team of about 8 total. So we're doing well this year. Yeah, man. It's been cool. The office is in Park Potomac. Potomac address, but
Potomac, Maryland?
Yeah, it's Potomac address.
Ooh.
But it's over there.
Fancy.
Okay, Cigarette Leonard's neighborhood.
Yeah.
Montrose.
Okay, my fault. My fault, good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So South Rockville, North.
Yeah. You're in Potomac. You're not in Maryland. You're in Potomac, Maryland.
How do y'all feel about that here in Maryland? Like you got Prince George, PG. You got Baltimore, which are different worlds.
I love how you say Baltimore, by the way.
Baltimore.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, we'll play the tape back. That was tight. I like it.
And then you got the Potomac side. Of course, you got Montgomery County on the other side, but then you got Potomac, right? So that's like the elite in a sense, right?
Yeah, I mean that's usually where all the big houses, the big money's at, man. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's scattered throughout Montgomery County. It's not just Potomac.
Yeah.
But the biggest sale or the highest ticket homes are in Potomac.
Isn't that where Dan Snyder's old house is?
Huh?
Isn't that where Dan Snyder's old house is on?
Yeah.
He selling it?
He just sold the joint, didn't he? I thought he just dropped the price like
he
dropped like
200,000 something. How much did he drop it by?
It was like 15 million. I think he dropped it by something like
He
that.
dropped it by 15 million?
Something stupid.
How much was he selling it for?
Like 49, I think.
$100 million?
40-something million.
So he's just trying to sell it because it's Danny Snyder's house.
He tried to sell it because he can get up out of this area.
Why is he leaving? I don't be paying attention to sports. Why is he leaving?
Man, he was crooked.
Bro, he sold the team, man.
He sold the team.
He's crooked.
He was some trash.
He was some trash.
Oh, yeah. He was some trash. Trash owner.
They've been telling him to sell that joint for years.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean...
You a fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
He should have been changed the name anyway. I'm not down with that whole racial slur as a team name thing. You know?
But watch what happens when they change it back.
They gonna change it back? I heard they was arguing about it.
Well, the new owner's been saying Redskins.
Yeah.
He's been saying it.
He don't care.
He don't care, bro.
I don't care either.
I don't care money.
Yeah.
I would have said something else, but we can't.
Right. This is a PG podcast.
So Pedro, what's your business model? What's your mindset, or what's the foundational pieces to how you run your business?
Bro, I think our foundational mindset, man, is collaboration.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it's this kind of business is all about networking, right? It's all about the relationships that you build with your lenders, with your title folks, with any type of service that has to do with the home itself.
Yeah.
Right? best position yourself to be able to help your clients. So our whole thing is being able to network, being able to collaborate with the agents that we have right now, being able to provide them the best resources so that they can do the best job possible for our clients.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? So right now, I mean, it's going well for us, man. I mean, we just had a networking event. Yeah, it was cool, man. But I think we're going to switch it up. So we're going to start doing some more like monthly or maybe quarterly. It depends on the funds.
Yeah, let's get it to the table.
It depends on the funds, but I think it was great, man. A lot of people came out. It was low key, right? You just network with a bunch of construction folks. I think we had some business developers there. We had even a dog groomer there. You know what I mean? So all types of people came through, but we want to expand it out. You know what I mean? So being able to bring more folks into the mix, being able to collaborate with them and network with them, so we can again just make the connections. Bro.
Yeah.
How many people are on your team?
Eight total.
What's the makeup?
So
admin.
They all do both, right? So they're buyers and listing agents. Giovanni Argueta, who's my partner, right? So we both kind of co-team lead, but we're principals at Compass, right? So we kind of share the load on that end. We have a meeting every week, and we go over numbers and stuff like that.
That's the key.
Yeah, I think
the meeting every week or the numbers?
The meeting about the numbers.
Oh yeah.
Meeting, go over the numbers, right? You know, see where everybody's at. Just go over some reality checks. Right?
Yeah, that accountability
factor. And then we have a training topic, you know, and it could be a discussion, right, over things that they've come across. Maybe somebody else will learn from it, right? Or we go over some tools that Compass may have, or some tools that we've come across that we may be able to use in our whole day-to-day operations. So it switches up every week, but we put in efforts to try to give them some quality training.
Yeah. Where you get a lot of your clients,
dude?
Demographic wise.
Yeah. So demographic wise, for me specifically, and that's what I like about our team. We all have our own lane. You know what I mean? Like for me, I have a lot of past clients at SOI, right? Influence. And as I was talking off camera, you know, I did 20 years in the fire department, so a lot of my demographics is past firefighters, you know, that I've worked with. Hence, I'm not there anymore, so I'm not like in the face of all the firefighters, but I try to stay in the mix. But a lot of it is repeat clients for me. My partner Gio, the same thing. You know, he has a lot of repeat clients. He's in the mix. He's been networking for a long time. Yeah. So he definitely knows a lot of people.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about the firefighting stuff later. We were talking off camera. That stuff's super interesting. What I want to get into is, though, the first real estate headline.
There you go.
Which is, bada boom, bada bing, Gen Z is the next generation making moves in the housing market.
Who's Gen Z?
Who is Gen Z? I know I ain't Gen Z. I think Gen Z is like, the 90s? The babies that was born in the 90s?
Between 97 and 2012.
Oh, so when we graduated high school and...
They're younger than us being in high school.
They were born when we were graduating.
Yeah, I graduated in 95.
Correct.
I
graduated in 99.
Oh, okay.
But I started high school in 95. Yeah, so you was leaving when I was coming in. And remember, you're way older than me. Gen Z is eager to put down their own roots and achieve financial independence, the article begins. As a result, they're turning to homeownership, according to the latest Home Buyers and Sellers Generational Trends report from the National Association of Realtors. 30% of Generation Z buyers transition straight from living under their parents' roofs to owning their own homes. This is amazing to me, bro.
Yep.
Gen Z, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they literally are just sitting in their basements on YouTube making $2 million a month. Like, they're completely, like, unplugged from their matrix, bro. And this, I really think it's awesome that so many Gen Z buyers are jumping into the market.
I love it because I think they can also learn from the mistakes that maybe millennials made. It's really good that someone can be better than the generation that come before, right? So if millennial are before Gen Z, I don't even know, but It is. Yeah, because it's Gen X, then millennials, because we're Gen X.
Yeah, Gen Z.
Millennials, then Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
If they can learn from the mistakes maybe of the previous generation, and they said they're between 9 years old and 24 years old. So I was 21 when I bought my condo. Straight, like flunked out of college, came home, worked for 2 years, lived at home, went and bought a condo. Never rented anything.
Right.
So now, if I had any sort of education, instead of buying a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, I would have bought a 4-unit property and lived in one and rented out the other 3. So
there you go.
Hopefully these 23, 24-year-olds coming out of mom and dad's basement can jump out here and get a multifamily, live in one, rent the other 3, and then in a couple of years, you go to the 3-unit, a couple of years go to 2-unit, and then within 10 years, you'll have 10 doors. So
Real Estate Wire Squad that's been sticking with us. Go check back some of our early episodes. I think that was around episode 10, 9 or 10, where we were talking about the 4-unit strategy that that I personally use and that I've helped a lot of my buyers use and do. Pedro, you seeing a lot of Gen Z clients in your pipeline?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I have Gen Z agents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or millennials, maybe on the cusp of Gen Z, but we definitely have a lot more of them coming into the mix. I've personally dealt with a few young firefighters that have bought homes. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not around here, right?
Sure,
but they bought.
Yeah.
You know, so they have that mindset of like, you know what, I'm gonna establish my roots now.
Yeah.
Dude,
you definitely have.
You hit on a really good point. This article says that many Gen Z buyers still want the convenience and excitement of city living, but also value the affordability, open air, and space more suburban areas offer.
Absolutely.
You hit the nail on the head. So you're seeing a lot of them kind of moving further out?
Yeah, I mean, I had one client, man, that moved out to, and I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it's just above, it's in Carroll County. It's just, I mean, it's on the cusp of getting to Pennsylvania, bro.
Yeah.
And he works in Virginia, and I was like, are you sure you want to buy out of here, dude?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I don't care.
Yep. Oh, I got clients, I mean, Lexington, Lusby, like Southern Maryland, even down to King George, because it's like, hey, I tell my clients this all the time, even the ones that I'm working with and Real Estate Wire Squad, you can either get, the closer you get to the hub, which here is DC. If you're in Florida, Miami, wherever the Del Centro is for your area, New York, Cali, anything beyond that, the further out you go, we call those secondary markets. Our secondary markets here would be Baltimore only, Glen Burnie.
Secondary market?
I would consider Baltimore a secondary market to DC. Like if you're still trying to get into the city, but you want to get into like a smaller city, Baltimore is a good secondary market. Okay. And then the Prince George's County, like those outside areas, the further away you go from the center, you're usually going to get your dollar's going to go a little bit further.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I just remember he moved out to a place named Manchester.
Manchester. I know of Manchester.
Manchester, Maryland, bro. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Is that north or south?
That's north. Yeah, like right before you get to Pennsylvania.
It's like Hanover. What's that? Not Hanover. What's that? Hagerstown.
Yeah, that's going to be west.
That's on the west.
Hagerstown ain't the far away.
Hagerstown is right on the line of Pennsylvania. Though.
It can't be. Yeah, for sure.
This is like 20 minutes from Chambersburg.
Yeah, and that's interesting. The article says that locating a home offers everything that they pretty much require, and especially in these types of high interest rate markets that we're in, don't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. Here again, we reiterate. I think repetition for emphasis. Repetition is the father of learning. 7% interest rate is not the highest that we've ever seen in America, right? It's actually literally the average interest rate.
Yeah.
Now, it don't feel good right now. No. 2% felt better, maybe, but you ain't standing out in the rain or in the heat in a line of 17 or 18 other people waiting to get inside the house because you want to submit your 30th offer on a house because you've been shopping for 6 months and you can't find, right? So it's pros and cons, like we was talking about, it's some sacrifices, it's pros and cons to everything. So how are you helping your clients, Pedro, kind of, what's the conversation that you're having with them about, the interest rates, and then how are you helping them kind of make a plan for buying? And then also, what are you telling your sellers as far as their expectation for their days on market?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great question. I think you alluded to it right now, right? Is the fact that we're at a point where you don't have to stand outside in a long line to be able to buy. So you're ahead of of that rush when the interest rates do go down, if they go down, right? I mean, there are forecasts that I know the experts or the economists are giving models of when it's going to go down, but if you keep waiting on that, you're ahead of the game right now. So that's what I tell my buyers. I'm like, look, if you want to get into a home where in a typical cyclical market, right, where things are going to slow down in the fall and winter, right? So you have the ability, if we can find you the inventory, which is, I think what we try to do is try to find them some off-market stuff, right? So we tell our buyers, hey, give us your parameters. Where do you want to be? What are your musts? What are your wants, right? And we look. Like, we actually make phone calls. We circle prospect, right? And we'll make the phone calls.
For the people in the cheap seats, what's circle prospecting?
So circle prospecting is basically we target a neighborhood, we have the ability to get the numbers, and we make the calls, right? Or we send out a mailer, or we send out, or we go by and do some door knocking, right? And say, hey, it's a little bit invasive sometimes for some people, but we're out here for our buyers, right? I mean, especially if they're in the need for a specific area, right? For our sellers, man, I think it's still a great time to sell, right? I mean, once you put that home on the market, if it's a home that's been, updated, you know what I mean, that it's in a great area, and I mean, like, location based, right? It's gonna fly off the market quickly.
You speak facts, bro. You speak of facts. The shiny houses are still selling, man.
Oh, absolutely, right? So the homes that are not so shiny, right? Then we do give them another expectation, like, hey, do you want to make some updates, right? Do you have the resources to, do some updates? We have a program with our company that we can give them some money, interest free, and they can make up some. It's not a whole lot of money, but you can at least do some paint, some flooring, update a bathroom or two, right?
That's valuable.
That's valuable, right? That's what's going to sell a home, right? I think kitchens and baths, right? It always boils down to that.
Yeah.
So we do talk to those folks that it may take a little bit longer time days on market depending on the neighborhood that they're in. So we do our research, we do our comparables and see how long the homes are in the market. What we try to do overall with buyers or sellers is give them data.
Education.
Yeah.
I'm a huge advocate of that. I mean to cut you off. But that's what we do here. When we cut people off, we don't mean to cut you off. We cut you off.
I'm good.
But like, the more educated a client is, the more comfortable I think they are with making their decision. And if you don't have anything to hide, like, which you shouldn't, you just put it out there and say, if you go this route, or you go this route, and you kind of give some nuances within each. Absolutely. And and guide them to making the right decision, and they're gonna make it one way or the other. But
always, and that's our biggest key thing, right? I tell my clients, whether they're buyers or sellers, I said, look, I'm your guide. You're the captain of this ship. You're gonna.
When we say you the boss,
I'm the expert. You the boss.
You the boss.
You the boss. I'm the expert.
You're gonna make the decisions. Yeah. All I'm here to do is give you perspective that you may not be seeing.
Yep.
That's it.
I love that, bro. I think that's been one of the biggest I think takeaways just from the past. As a real estate agent, 10 years in the business. How long have you been in the game?
Dude, technically I've been in the game since 2005.
So you were OG. So that as the market shifts, we're always updating our conversations with our buyers and our clients. A lot of times I hear some of the negative feedback, like, oh, you realtors always say that it's always a good time to buy. Well, only stupid realtors are saying that. We're educated, like realtors like us, we're not saying, oh, it's always a good time to buy. What we're saying is, here's the strategy that you need to employ in this particular market.
Absolutely.
Right. Here's the landscape. Look outside. It's raining.
Yeah.
I would say that you have some options. You can walk outside and get all wet in the rain. You can grab a raincoat. You can grab an umbrella, or you can just stay inside. We can't get mad at the rain because we don't have control over that.
Yeah.
I'm the expert. You're the boss. What you want to do. Right? I love that, bro. I love that, man. So let's get into the coach's corner. What you got for us, Coach?
What do you want to get into? So, I've said sometimes before that loan officers don't read, and some loan officers can be lazy. But this is to help not only the loan officers, but more so for the clients because and borrowers. May even help some sellers too. What we know in our industry that deals have gotten a little bit more difficult to do because of interest rates, affordability, job market, income, inflation, just expenses overall. But there's something that says that borrowers with little to no credit, the interest rates, having to have, when they go under contract, they have tight windows for closings or the contingencies, quality of loan standard, all the things, right? What we're hearing is that processors and underwriters are giving us feedback saying that loan officers are not doing their homework in submitting loan files. Mm-hmm. So, as it pertains to the loan officers, ladies and gentlemen, please do your job. Please read. Please look at your findings. Look at the guidelines because your clients are depending on you to make this a smooth and timely transaction. Yet, to the borrower, Mr. and Ms. Borrower, make sure you tell your loan officer everything. Lay it out on the table. So, because if you hide something, we're going to find it or we'll bump into it and we have to ask questions and it sometimes can turn the transaction, which is going 100% smooth. You hit one pothole and then you feel like, oh, we're riding through the Grand Canyon. No, it's a pothole. It's not that, right? But we hit that pothole because you didn't disclose a certain thing. And it could be something as major or minor as your citizenship. A person that says, hey, excuse me, we're talking about loan scenarios and we may not be discussing whether you're a U.S. citizen or not. But then when you do the application, it comes out, oh, I'm a foreign national. I'm not a U.S. citizen. And okay, well, what type of paperwork do you have? Do you have a green card? No. I'm here on this particular visa. Okay, well then do you have your EAD, which is employment authorization document? So now we're talking about 3 or 4 different alternative types of documentation that may not be able to go straight through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Now we're talking about an alternative loan product. Alternative loan products require higher interest rates, higher down payments, longer turn time, right? So now we are in the middle of what could have been a pothole that we could have gotten through. Now we really are right through the Grand Canyon because it's rocky and bumpy like from here because you're like, oh, I thought I could do one thing, now I got to do something different. So I'm just encouraging you all. Just lay it all out on the table. Like whatever it is, let's lay it out. Let's talk about it. There are ways of navigating through the process. Loans and money, it's available all over the place. Just how we get to it smoothly and comfortably is really a big deal.
What are you seeing as far as like what's your, in your experience, because you're an OG in the game, and real estate wise, y'all already know that. What's your top like exclusion, like the biggest thing you see people forgetting, air quotes, or maybe legitimately just not thinking that it's on their loan application? What are you seeing the most?
Man,
most frequently.
You talking about the number one thing? Probably something related to a debt that wasn't addressed, or maybe it was in collection or something along those lines. And usually that debt, it has something to do with a housing event. Like they want to buy a home, their first time buyer, but they owe their previous apartment complex $4,000 because they skipped out on the last month's rent and now they got penalties or whatever. And I don't see that. I don't know that on a conversation. They don't disclose it on a conversation, but on that credit report, once they apply, and I see it on in that collection section, and it'll say whatever the name of the company is, and it'll be a big amount, and sometimes it'll say collecting for such and such apartments, and I'm like, oh, that's we can talk about that. Because if it's a housing event here, I'm getting ready to give you $300,000 for another potential housing event. No, that just doesn't work that way. So I think that's probably the top one.
How about child support, man? I had that one time with I was on the listing side, right? And the buyer was using, I won't say the name, I don't know if we can say names of other mortgage companies, but
Say it.
I don't throw shit. Oh,
Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket, yeah, we fried them on the regular. Say it.
Yo, man, like it came down to like almost a week before closing, and they were like, "Oh, we can't close the deal,
Bro,
because he didn't pay child support, and then he said he did, and we had to get blah blah blah." So they basically said no.
Mm-hmm.
So I referred him to. I gave him a referral to another lender, and the lender was able to get it done. Yeah. But I'm like, how do you
Rocket?
What kind of oversight is that? Like, what's up with that?
Let me tell you that there are so many, like, experience is a lot of times the best teacher. Like, and a lot of times that experience can be a negative one. Like when you got your butt whooped in a loan transaction, or you hit certain potholes, or you made certain mistakes. Yeah. Because I'm not even gonna lie, that like in the beginning of my career, I was afraid to ask certain questions because I didn't want to be in everybody's business.
Right. But that's what I remember. I was telling you about it. I'm like, we talking to. I think we talking to Lisa. You like, I don't really get all in my client's business. I'm like, I get all up in my client's business.
Yeah,
it's like professional time.
Yeah, you gotta come on. Tell me, because I'm not gonna. I want to pass you to my lender, and I want you to be a clean case. And if there's something that I know, because I'm 12 years in the game, 12 years in the game now. 12 years in the game. I know that you're not ready for the lender yet. And I'm not going to completely disqualify you, but I want to. I do. I'm like, yo, you got any bankruptcies? You got any tax debt? You got any student loans that you think are in deferment, but they're actually not in deferment? We need to. That's what you're going to have to talk to when you fill out that loan application. So make sure you include that, because a lot of times they don't think that they have to. We've had people have tax debt, and it's like it doesn't. For some strange reason, y'all don't put that on the loan application, right? That don't come up till underwriting. Like if they got tax debt, that's not on the loan application. On the loan app? Are you currently
delinquent on any federal tax?
Not delinquent though. I'm saying like just because it goes to their DTI, and it only asks if they're delinquent.
Oh, about the owing part.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say that specifically. But there are. I mean, if you're delinquent, you owe it.
Right, but if you're not delinquent and you're making payments, but it doesn't come up.
People will check no on that.
You see what I'm saying?
So then when we get into it, it's like...
Exactly. So that's the conversation I have with my guy. I'm like, hey, I'm asking you, any tax debt? No? Okay, 90% of the time they say no. Sometimes they're like, yeah. I'm like, good. Like, just throw it on there and tell it, because we're going to find... They go, well, they didn't ask me on the loan application. It's going to come up, bro.
Yeah. And those are things that like... There's so many different things that you can... That's why like... The loan part of it is such a sensitive part, right? Mm-hmm. Once we get through the loan, like I know that I pre-approved you, give it a pre-approval letter, estimate closing costs, because I'm not even getting the pre-approval until I've had the conversation, looked at credit, gotten documents. But unless there's something I just missed, or I'm human, I'll mess up, but like I'm not. Like that big things, like the child support. I'm looking at the application. You got kids, okay? You're not married. I am asking about child support, right? And sometimes child support pops up on the credit report. So obviously we got to talk about it. Yeah. But that's why the overall topic is like, yo, lay it out on the table. Let's have a conversation, because there's money for everything. I've learned that over the last more than 12 months that like whatever your loan scenario is, there's money available for it. How you get to it, how much it's going to cost you is something different. Yeah. So you can't have you're scraping the bottom of the barrel type of situation with credit, assets, all the other things, and want down payment assistance, grant money, because that's I mean, that's reserved for people that got some better stuff in order,
Yeah, that's the rub with these. I think I tell a lot of my clients that, the down payment assistance is available, and it's going to cost you. And it's going to cost you something. Yeah. Ain't nothing free in this life. And so they want to typically see a certain credit score. They want to see a certain DTI, and they want to see that you at least got some type of income coming in, right? Ideally some savings, ideally some reserves. I think a lot of times, we see on the instant charts and the Facebooks and the TikTokies. Oh man, I saw a TikTok where this guy bought a house with 0 down. Okay, cool. Let's look at his loan application. Let's look at his tax returns. Let's look at his credit score. How did that actually work? Did we get how did they finance the closing costs? Right. Did they get a seller credit? Like, it's a million ways to make $1 million. It's a million ways to buy a house. There's a whole bunch of ways to skin a cat.
Right.
And everybody's situation is different.
Every single one. But that's also one of the reasons why I love this business. I love it because I can talk to, every single situation. Husband and wife have different opinions. They have different perspective. He cares about one thing that she doesn't, and vice versa. I've had twin brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fraternal or whatever. Like,
He's
right. They look the same. They came out,
identical.
Identical.
Okay. There we go. Like, they had different ideas of what they wanted, different credit scores.
Right.
But then, so it's so different. It's a new challenge every single day, and trying to put all the different pieces of the puzzle together to make it a beautiful picture for, and the dream come alive for the people. Like, I love it. But again, the point of all of this is, like, spill the beans. Like, just let it fly, and let me on the loan side filter through and help you make it the right thing. Let y'all on the realtor side filter through and make it the right thing, because we are resetting expectations sometimes.
Yeah. I think that's key, Marcus, because and you alluded to, we try to scrub that first.
Yeah.
I used to be in the habit when I was first starting. I was like, well, that's the lending part. You see it with him.
Right.
Exactly, bro.
Right. But you know what I learned was that, again, we're going back to educating our clients, right? Education is key. So if you're going to, prevent them from going through a harsh reality check, or give them a reality check so you can prevent that, like, potholes and everything else and that rough ride.
Yeah.
That's starting right now.
Yeah.
Or let's stop it right now and be like, okay, well, you know what? You may not be ready. You don't have 3 months of reserves and your credit score is in the low 600s, or 6 months of reserves. Like, that's not going to work right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm going to let my lender know, hey, look, this person or this customer client is at that cusp. So you already know, okay, let me be looking a little bit more closer, fine-tooth comb, so I can scrub this joint out and see if we can make it work or not.
Dude, I think that's all a part of, like, even I wish we were. When we was talking before we jumped on the mic. Me and Pedro were talking about all this stuff, bro.
Yeah.
One thing we were talking about is you're 20 years retired from the firefighting department.
3 years actually today.
3 years retired. 20 years.
20 years in.
Tell me about that, bro.
Bro, shit, excuse my language. I get excited about it.
Yeah.
I miss it still, but no, it was a great ride. You know what I mean? I came in pre-9/11, and, I did my 20 years. I moved up through the ranks, left as a captain. As a matter of fact, right down the street. So, I won't say where we're at, but it's right down the street. You know what I mean? And it was a great ride, man. It was a lot of learning. I apply a lot of the things I learned in fire department to real life, right? And when I was in the fire department, I applied a lot of things in real life to the fire department. It's such a great comparison, dealing with real estate too. You know what I mean? I think it fell just right for me, being able to help people, right? Our core principle, or at least the core principles that I instilled in my mind in dealing with real estate is people come first.
Sure, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
People come first. Being able to know the process, right? And being able to attain their goal, right? Their home or whatever it is that it may be. But I think being in the fire department for that long and being in the positions that I was really set me up to be in the position I'm at now.
What's the biggest firefight you were ever in?
Ooh, man. There's a couple of them, man. There's a couple of them, but I mean, I would just say the last one that I was in was actually in this area, man. It was lightning strike, right? The whole roof was off. I mean, these things look beautiful it looked scary from the outside, but the whole roof was off. You know what I mean?
Off like it was
on fire. On fire. It looked spectacular.
So when you say that's firefighter terminology, like when the roof was off,
means it was on to the break of dawn. And it was like, flames 20 foot up in the air type deal. It looks spectacular. But it was just a roof off. You know what I mean? So it looked spectacular. We went in, we did our job. We We open up the ceilings. I mean, that's what I told you before we went on camera. When we come, we're going to break things up.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we do that is because we want to open up, make sure that it's not spreading anywhere. You know, make sure that when it's off, like, and I mean like put out, right? It's out, so we don't have to come back. One, it's embarrassing to come back to a fire that we supposedly put out, you know. And two is obviously we don't want it to create any more damage.
All right, I've always wanted to know this.
Yes.
In a situation like that, how, this is kind of a two-part question, how hot, like in terms of degrees, how hot is something like that?
Ooh. I mean,
your suits are made to withstand.
To withstand up to a certain amount, right? Like true flame impingement on us, I mean, the suits are going to catch fire.
Okay.
Right? But heat itself, right? Our protective gear it's supposed to withstand and I don't remember the exact number, but 400, 500 degrees, right? But that's heat, right? Impingement of actual fire on us, it's going to catch fire, right? But you feel it. Oh, you feel it.
Just a reduced degree of heat.
Reduced degree of heat. Once you actually feel extremely hot, it's probably getting into the 1,000. And you got to get
1,000 degrees.
1,000 degrees, man. You got to get out. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to book it because there's a flash point and everything else, right? Where all the superheated gases are going to go off and become a blowtorch, and no one can survive it.
I think that's
not even anybody with protective clothing.
I think that's amazing, bro. A couple of things that stood out to me. Salute for sure.
Thank you.
That stood out to me what you were saying. Sometimes you got to go in and bust everything up to make sure, like you got to dig inside of everything. Open up the file. Let's see how long you been paying your bills.
See how it translates.
Hey, listen,
that stuck out.
See how it translates?
Yeah.
I love it.
We do have to tear it down to build it back up.
It's like, hey, we got to get up in there because
deep,
bro. That and the other thing that stuck out to me is how much you learned about caring about your client.
Yeah.
Right. I can tell that translates in your business just by your conversation. And you said the word beautiful, which I totally understand why you're saying that. We were talking before we started recording about how the finger you described the fingers of the fire and how it's like it's so paradoxical, right? Because it's probably one of the worst events of any human's life.
Absolutely.
Fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then also so beautiful to see being that close to God, right? This is the most natural element on earth. And you're standing like right there and you're looking at it like, all right, now I gotta put you out.
I'll put you out. And now you're gonna start roaring. And once it starts roaring, it's another story. You know,
that's
that freight train. You know what I mean? If you hear that freight train, it's no bueno. No bueno, because it's bad.
When I do like the fire pit or whatever, you hear it, right?
You hear it, man.
And there's something natural about it, but then like when you bring it to that level, you're like, I can't even imagine the sound.
Oh my God!
Because I have no desire to, like, we were talking about the level of respect for firefighters that y'all run to danger. Like I get out of danger, you know, like so you've been the closest. Like you talk about God, like you've been as close to like new life yet death, like all in the same. Like you know what I'm saying, in the same place,
same instance, all at the same time, man. It's crazy. It is, man. And again, it translates to so many different things in what we do, especially in real estate, right? Obviously, it's not as chaotic physically or anything like that, right? But
real estate,
for the most part.
I mean, I think we're
you see these grades right here that come popping out.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because Dan the chaos. No,
hey, I throw the deals. I'm just alley-ooping them. You gonna dunk them or
There's another great one.
There was a good pass.
That's another one from Dan.
Hey, it's a good pass. I feel like Yeah, the firefighting, man, is exponentially, more life changing, and 100 salutes to you, bro. When you told me that, I was like, what? Firefight, that's awesome, bro. I love it, man. And to see you now doing the real estate, man, and killing it. I find the most successful people I've seen in real estate, I think they say 90% of real estate agents are second career.
Yeah.
Right, because we see the first career, we're like, this is weak. I need to do something else. And most of the time, it's healthcare, because I came from nursing. It's nice. Police, military. We tend to be, because there's so much client-facing requirements in our if you're a nurse, if you're a firefighter,
people business,
putting out, fixing problems, that translates so easily to, it's like, the transaction, we can't find the EMD, or the home inspection, whatever. That's nothing. We just fix it. No big deal. Your house not a fire. It's not 1,000 degrees in here. Like, we're good. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right, man.
So let's get into the real estate DMV market. DMV market.
DMV.
I know what's going on here. I know stuff. So for the month of July, as of today, we're waiting for August numbers. As you know, the numbers are calculated for the prior month. And we are now, again, this summer, on a nice downtrend, which is great for people. Again, it's not about trying to time the market.
Time in the market.
It's about time in the market, bro. And so, for the month of July, we got new listings are down from this time last month, 8%. And from this time last year, we're down 29%. New pendings, as we know, new pendings mean that people who are putting contracts actively looking to buy the house, they got a contract on it, and they're in escrow at the title company, getting ready to go to closing within the next 30 days or so. That's pendings. We're down 13% from this time last year, so there's less people putting properties on the market. There's less people putting properties under contract. There's also less people putting their properties on the market, so there's less inventory. There's less inventory for the buyers to actually buy houses.
Yeah.
And then, understandably, there's less closings. So we have 20% less closings than last year, 17% less closings than June, and our median sold price is down here in the DMV, because we're just talking about the DMV, is down 2%. And the median sold price, though, is up from this time last year, 3.9%.
There you go.
So again, to summarize that, for the people in the cheap seats, we got less properties on the market, less people putting them under contract, less people closing, and the price continues to go up. And that's kind of...
It don't stop.
It don't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Forever. The reason, you may say, well, Dan, we have less listings and less pendings and less closings. Why is the price going up? What would you say to that, Pedro?
Why is the price going up?
Right. Why is the price going up even though we have less listings?
The demand is still there, right? I mean, there ain't enough housing. There ain't enough housing for all the influx of people that are in this area. There aren't enough housing for all the new Gen Z, buyers that are trying to get into the...
They got to go to Carroll County.
They got to go to Carroll County out of Manchester. And even out there ain't a whole lot of listings out there right now. So, bro, it's just supply and demand theory right there. I mean, it's basic.
Basic supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
And we saw this, me and Marcus, we called it a long time ago. And that's why I'm glad you guys check it, tune in every single time we drop a pod.
Appreciate it.
We really appreciate you. Make sure to like, subscribe, throw a comment in the comment section, leave us a 5-star review on Apple. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're the first to know when we drop new content. Let's get into the real estate hot or not.
Hot or not.
All right.
You ready for this, Pedro?
You ready for this, Pedro?
I don't even know what's coming, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, Cloud. We're going to have a couple different categories. One got to go, but also, would you rather? Okay?
Okay.
So, would you rather travel the world for free for a year or have $50,000 to spend however you want?
Travel the world for free, baby.
Yeah, I'll travel the world. $50,000, I won't take you that far.
50,000.
Yeah, same here.
That's like 2 countries. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Would you rather have to wear every shirt inside out or every pair of pants backwards?
A shirt inside out all day long. I gotta go use the restroom.
Yeah. I'm with the shirt too. What'd you say? You know, you be the same. Don't try to be different. You try to be
I'm
different.
trying to be the contrarian. I'm trying to think, but it's just illogical to wear my pants backwards. It just doesn't make any sense.
Crisscross it all over again.
Crisscross.
Oh,
I tried to do that one time.
Me too. My mom, I came downstairs and my mom was like,
Yep.
put them pants on.
What you thinking? What do you think this is, huh?
turn back around.
This is that rock and roll. My mom used to call all non-gospel music.
Rock and roll.
She used to call any non-gospel music rock and roll. I was like, Mom, this is rap. This is
My
hip-hop.
brother is
Rock and
Detroit.
roll.
Crisscross will make it.
So you gonna say the shirt? You had the shirt on backwards inside out right now, don't you?
Oh, okay. We starting. Just tell me when we start. Pull your label off.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
All right, this is a little bit more serious. Would you rather be the absolute best at something that no one takes seriously, or be average at something well respected?
That's a good one.
I mean,
That's gonna hit the ego a little bit, but I think I'll stick with average.
yeah, a average fish in a big pond versus the big fish in a little pond that nobody care about.
Yeah.
It's about your ego, right? What you trying to do, Marcus? I'll be average.
What you trying to do, man?
I hate being average, but I think that that respect button is like being average at something in a situation that's well respected. Probably be what I want to do, because who wants to do something and be? I mean,
The best basket weaver.
yeah, nobody care about, you know. All right, so this is one got to go.
Okay.
Movie edition.
Okay.
Love Jones, The Wood, The Best Man, or Love and Basketball. One got to go.
Ooh. I don't even know if I've seen any of them joints.
So you Dan today, cause
Yeah, I'm Dan.
You ain't never seen Love Jones? I'm everybody else today. You ain't never seen?
Love Jones, the poetry one with Lorenz Tate and Neil Long.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
seen
these black
that
movies.
joint.
You ain't seen
Yeah. I think I seen that joint. I swear to God.
Which one?
Oh, the Love Jones.
Okay,
Yeah. I think I seen that.
Love Jones can go.
Love Jones can go.
Love Jones can go.
Man.
I know it started everything, but I can't get rid of Love and Basketball. I can't get rid of The Wood, and I can't get rid of what's the other
The
one?
Best Man.
I can't get rid of The Best Man. That got all the
Best Man
hitters.
got to stay.
Yeah.
I almost feel like The Wood is like, it almost feel like a spin-off of The Best Man somehow. It just,
It's the same characters.
it connects somehow. Like,
It's like all the soul food characters. It's
Tay Diggs was in all those, like, we seeming like,
he was getting his bag.
I know.
He was in his
The
bag.
Best Man got to stay for me. Love and Basketball and Love Jones.
I defer to you guys.
Love and Basketball hit a nerve for me, but I would say that probably got to go.
Give Carlo. I keep calling him Carlo because I'm thinking of. Give Pedro one that he would know.
I'll give it to him, and we're gonna do a different one. Got to go.
All right.
Spades, poker, blackjack, or roulette.
Spades.
You can get. I'll get rid of roulette. This is
You like the roulette? You like the roulette?
You like roulette? Is there a strategy to roulette? Or is it pure luck?
I think it's pure luck.
That's what I'm saying.
It's pure luck.
That's what I'm saying. Spades, strategy. Blackjack, strategy. Poker, strategy. I'll take strategy. Roulette ain't no strategy. It's just luck.
Ain't no strategy, but I'll tell you what.
It's fun.
I lost money playing. I'll tell you what. I'll say blackjack, because I lost money playing blackjack one day.
How much?
It ain't went much. It was like $100, right?
$10,000?
No, $100.
$100,000?
I'm not a big gambler, thank God.
Me either.
Yeah, and then I went to the roulette and I bet on black. I said, I think I bet 100 on black, and I won. So I was like, all right, the roulette got to stay. So blackjack got to
So blackjack got to go for you. What got to go for you?
Roulette?
Yeah. I think poker got to go for me.
What? You gotta come.
I know. I got to come because y'all Saturday night, y'all do. I get it. But like,
I'm gonna invite you to poker night.
it's
Pedro.
probably-
You play poker?
A little bit.
Yeah, good. We play a little bit too. So
Un poquito.
un poquito.
see, but it's so funny.
We need a
that
pass.
when I play it.
That'll be me.
And I love blackjack. I like that's probably my favorite one out of all of them, blackjack.
Yeah.
And
Black don't crack.
spades and poker. I'm not good at. That's probably why and I don't understand all of it and the river and all of it.
The turn in the river.
Yeah. And then, but spades make me so mad because when you get
Black
certain,
people. Black people,
Yeah.
come on, yo. We gotta stop gatekeeping the stage, yo. That's my hot
Learn
take.
how to play spades, man.
Dude, good. Congratulations, because ain't nobody gonna teach you how to play spades.
That's the part that make me mad.
That's like just.
You don't know how to play spades?
Oh, we ain't gonna teach you.
Teach me.
No,
No, you just gotta learn.
You
You're
gotta-
supposed to learn if you're not gonna teach me.
I mean, that's how they did me. That's how they did me. But I
You gotta
picked
watch.
up. I picked up.
Black people, come on, man. Help us, other black people that grew up in church and wasn't allowed to play cards. Help us.
But you know the way that I really started getting good at spades was playing on Yahoo. I used to sit at work. I used to sit at work and doing the work and
Working.
Not his mortgage business.
yeah,
Right.
it
A long time ago.
It was a long time.
Yeah, this did 2000.
The comments expressed by Marcus. His alone.
I used to be sitting at work, man, and when I worked for XM Radio, and they were like,
You used to work for XM Radio?
yeah, I helped with it.
You used to have a radio show?
No, I didn't have a radio show. I wanted one, but I was in the technical support department. But
I learned something about you
And now
every
he
day.
has-
yes, we never talked about that.
We never talked about it.
You see that? You see people.
But now
But
he
yeah,
has one. Look at
I
that.
sit
Now you
I used
got
to sit there and like.
Look, we got.
I was one of 5 people in this technical department, and you know, calls would come in and you serve. It's kind of like IT help desk type of thing.
Okay.
And
So basically, you would just say, cut it off and cut it back on.
I'd run them through all the prompts and the scripts and cut it off, cut it on. Do you have view of the southern sky and all these other
Southern
things?
sky.
That's what the satellites are.
Oh, that was back during the satellite days.
So
You know all that's fake, right?
that song's not fake.
Dude, satellites are not
let me tell
in
you-
the sky, bro.
Let me tell
man,
you.
Come on.
Hold on.
Really?
Yeah, we're flat earther, bro. What you trying to come at me?
Oh, you a Kyrie? You a Kyrie Irving?
I'm flat earth light.
Flat Earth light.
I'm flat earth light.
Curious.
I'm flat.
That's what you are. You flat Earth curious. What is
I'm flat earth curious, yo.
it is?
Hey, you a flat earther for real?
I don't discard any information.
Okay, but what I was okay, never
I'll
mind.
hear it.
Uh-oh.
I'll listen to. Look, it's like this. All right, it's like this. How in the world are you going to say? Well, we already know that your cell phone is not connected to some satellite 10,000 miles above the clouds in space somewhere. We already know that. Those are just 5G.
towers are right
They're
there.
just cell towers. Okay, but they used to tell us it was satellites, but now it's just now we know it's just cell towers that triangulate their position.
Phones. They got sat phones.
Yeah, they do have satellite phones. We don't have satellite phones. We got towers, right? Then the other thing is the amount of. So here's the real flat Earth question that
go.
I have not heard a satisfactory answer to. Why is it? Okay, there's over 100,000 satellites surrounding the planet at any given time.
Okay.
They're shooting satellites up every day. Why do you never see any of those on pictures when you see pictures of the Earth?
They're so small.
They're so small, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer to that.
I know. I don't know.
I've seen them.
so-
I've seen them in the sky,
So
orbiting. Yeah.
So if the Earth was flat, are you saying what?
I'm not saying the Earth is flat. I'm asking a question. I'm saying.
Flat
What does that have?
Earth,
I don't understand how
So-
the satellite had to do with
I'm just
the flat
asking
around.
why. How? Okay, so here's the question: if we have, if you think about how many satellites are actually shot up every single day into quote unquote space,
Which I don't know.
in order to leave the atmosphere, you would run into nothing but tons of space debris. They shoot satellites up into space only for like 2 or 3 years, and then they deactivate them and wait for them to crash back into supposedly crash back into the ocean.
Okay. I don't know if that's true, but
And then some. Well, this is just what NASA says.
okay.
I don't know if it's true either. It's what NASA says. So my question is, all this space debris and all this trash, I think they said by 2050 we're going to have so much quote-unquote space debris that it's going to be pretty much impossible for us to even leave the stratosphere or leave that space There's a 10,000 mile area between our atmosphere and space. I can't remember the name of it.
The stratosphere?
It's not the stratosphere. It's something close to that.
One of them spheres.
Yeah, one of those spheres. We're basically, by 2050, we're going to have supposedly have so many satellites that it's going to be impossible to leave Earth. But we never see them on pictures. Why don't we ever see any satellites on pictures when we see pictures of the Earth? I don't know the answer to that. I'm just.
But when you
crop it out.
here's a great.
Yeah, they crop it out.
So when you, but here, I'm gonna jump on this because he just said when we see pictures of the Earth, what does the Earth look like?
A ball.
A ball, a sphere.
Sure.
So how is the Earth flat?
That's my question. Like,
otherwise, you just see a long flat.
Here's another flat Earth question, right? Who's taking all these pictures of the planet
From the satellite.
So have you ever seen the moon landing?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the actual moon landing, like the video of the moon landing?
Yeah.
So when they took off from the moon, who took that video?
From the moon coming back down to
When they supposedly landed on the moon, when they were in a space race with Russia, and we supposedly beat Russia, quote unquote, in the space race because they wanted to. The United States wanted to demonstrate their military superiority, right? And it was a race.
Kennedy got us up there first, right?
That's what they said.
And what you say, and what you're talking about is I've never seen the video. What you just said is the spacecraft landing on the moon. I've never seen that. What I've seen is the spacecraft already on the moon, and then the guy coming down the steps and boom, he comes. What common sense says, they'd already landed, they'd already done that, they set up the camera, and then they reenacted it.
And then they got back in the spaceship, took off, and then came back and landed again so that they could record it?
No.
Oh.
It would be us already have come here, set up the camera.
Right. But we had never been to the moon before, so who set up the camera?
We brought the camera with us. What I'm saying is...
So they landed on the moon, set up the camera,
hold on.
got back in the spaceship.
When they got in the spaceship, they put all the gear in there. They put a camera, video camera, all whatever.
Okay.
They leave Houston.
Okay.
They shoot up into the sky.
Right.
They land on the moon.
Right.
Boom. Then they get stuff set up.
They run out of the spaceship, set up the cameras.
Yes.
Come back into the spaceship.
And reenact as if they're just now.
So who took the picture of them taking off when they came back to Earth?
They left the cameras there.
They left the cameras there.
That would be my best guess.
Wait a minute, you're saying who took a video picture of them taking off from the Earth, coming back from the moon and coming back to Earth?
Yeah.
I've never even seen that video.
It exists. It's out there. I'm just asking.
I would say, and
they left the camera there.
They left the camera there so they can monitor.
So when I drive down, when I Pennsylvania Avenue and Branch Avenue in Southeast DC, how come I lose cell service? I lose cell service on Branch Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue on Earth. And you mean to tell me, in the 1970s, when they barely had black and white TV, they barely had color TVs. They had the technology available to broadcast a signal from the moon all the way to Earth in real time, and we barely got cell phone coming out.
So what you're getting at is you're saying that there was never a real landing on the moon.
I don't know.
I know. I've been around you long enough to know.
I'm just asking questions, real estate wise.
This is what he does.
I might add fuel to the fire here, but I just saw
the moon landing was never for real.
I have no idea.
Videos of Buzz Aldrin talking about how this is all fake, and this was on TikTok. Like he said,
I think I saw that one too.
We never went there. I'm like, this dude's. I don't know if he's senile or if he's telling the truth. You know what I mean? But
his Buzz Aldrin's buzz is no longer buzzing, so he got to come up with a story.
Yeah.
So maybe Buzz Aldrin's lying too.
Maybe.
So maybe he was telling the truth, and now he's not telling the truth anymore.
So he can get what? Buzz.
Bad press is still press, though.
Bad press is still press.
So let me ask this then. Since we on this, I don't know how we on, but with SpaceX and what's it, Blue Star? What do they call them?
Yeah.
The two that are
Blue something.
Elon got one and Bezos has one, right?
Sure.
So these guys are tech geniuses. Now they go up and they go up to the moon, or whoever they set it up there, Richard Branson, whoever else, the Virgin or whatever. They go up to the moon and they go into outer space and they look back down at it and like they see that it is what it is. It's round. They can see footprints on the moon. Is it still the conspiracy theory that nobody else has been up there?
So,
there's other people, all the countries been up
that's a
there
good
too.
question. Okay. Jeff Bezos Jeff Bezos technically, Richard Branson never technically went into space. He was at the highest, that area between, where it technically was not space. He technically was not the first person. He didn't get high enough. He was like 10,000 feet below what we would technically call space.
Orbit, yeah.
Yeah, he never left the orbit of Earth.
Okay.
The other guy, not Bezos, Bezos went up in that large phallic-looking spaceship and then orbited and came back down, supposedly. Here's my question, though. One, they're not tech geniuses. They own tech companies. The people that work for them are tech geniuses. There's a whole rabbit hole for Elon Musk and the way he runs his company. There's a podcast. I'll tell you the podcast the next time, about his whole tech company and all the lawsuits and how his employees are like trying to sue him, and they say that he's basically an idiot. He steals everybody's ideas and then fires. There's a whole big thing about Elon Musk. But my question to you then, or the answer to that question is another question, which would be, if they really did go up there, do you really think that, let's say, like I said, I don't know the answer to this, but let's say they went up there and they were like, oh, this is all fake. We're in a simulation or something, right? Do you think the media, right, the media who lied to us about a whole bunch of stuff that we won't talk about because we don't want to get our show banned, but they changed it, do you really think that they would let them disseminate that information to the general public?
Absolutely not. They would mysteriously disappear.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
They only let out what we think is supposedly the sugar, but what they actually let out is what they want us to think we know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist.
Neither am I. I just ask questions.
You know, yeah, absolutely, dude. Like the whole, how about the alien stuff? You know, like,
Bro,
listen, do not get him started.
Have you seen the disclosure stuff that's popping up now? The disclosure?
No.
Basically, they're talking about that.
You're the only person that's seen that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because the masses can't
handle it.
I ain't saying that.
We not real enough, people.
You're not woke. Wake up, sheeple. No, I'm just. No,
I still want to know if it's flat around though. Is the Earth flat around?
I have no clue, bro. I mean, according to NASA, it's round.
It's round.
So you say he's a bi-rounder? What is it?
Whoa, you added stuff.
He just added stuff.
Slow down, bro.
What did you say?
He's flat Earth curious.
I said flat Earth. Like you say serious, but I like yours better.
So it's kind of like an octagon, hexagon, oval.
Here's the thing: like all these different belief systems, they all like boil down to okay, but what's the purpose? Like okay, let's say there is a flat Earth. Who created a flat Earth? Why did they create a flat Earth? Why? I haven't heard none of the flat Earth people answer that question. Like, what's the purpose of the flat Earth? You mean like who made it? There got to be some really big, huge human or some entity that made the flat Earth. Like who? They don't have it. I've never heard an answer.
So now we get ready to get into the God pod,
that's what ends up happening. That's what it always boils down to. Okay, so if you believe in flat Earth, who created it? If you believe in a spherical Earth, who created it?
So that's a different episode.
Yeah, and then it just boils down to believe what you want to believe. I guess, right?
We've had a couple God pod episodes. Shout out to Nick Bush. Nick, we gotta have Deacon Nick.
We did a God pod before you got here.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick Bush, well, man, I'm telling you, we got the God pod, bro. Let's get to one more hot or not, bro.
One more.
Then we gonna jump into the comment section. Oh, you ain't got no more? You wanna jump straight to the comment section?
Yeah, we go to the comments.
Let's get into the comment section. This comment, if you want to comment on a pod, put a comment down and we may pick yours to read it. We'll jump on our TikTok, Real Estate Wire Podcast.
Flat or round.
Huh?
Comment flat or round.
If you believe the earth is full, put the poll up. I have no clue. I don't got no horse in the race. I got a 2-year-old kid who don't care about nothing but cornflakes. He on cornflakes now, yo.
Is he?
Oh,
yeah.
He off Cheerios.
He off Cheerios. He got a new girl now.
With sugar or no sugar? With sugar or no sugar?
Nah, he don't eat no sugar. If he ate sugar, he would be a different human. When he gets around his grandma give him sugar. And boy, when I tell you, okay, no more sugar for you, buddy. We're done. But he like cornflakes now. He a cornflakes man. You know cornflakes was originally created? Go down some rabbit holes. We won't talk about it. So here's the comment. This is from LOL's Laugh Out Loud. Her question is, my fear for people with regards to housing is affordability. With inflation on everything else, people are people really considering the true price, or I think she's trying to say the true value of homes these days. Let me contextualize her question. I think she's saying her biggest concern right now is housing affordability and inflation. Everybody having to pay for a whole bunch of different other things. These houses are overinflated. Are people really considering the actual value of these houses? So what say you, Pedro, with regards to housing affordability?
Well, I think it's all relative, right? If you're in the DMV, right, with minimum wages and everything else, and what you actually have to make to buy a home in this area, not a whole lot of affordability, right? But if you can afford to pay rent in the DMV, you could potentially afford to buy a property.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So, because the multipliers for rentals kind of coincide with being able to purchase. You know what I mean? What was it? 3 times, right? It's 3 times, right? So,
what, 30%? 33% net ratio in the sense.
Is that right?
That's what my math says.
That's heavy.
Wow. But here's the point. If you're able to rent in this area, then you could potentially buy. Why not buy? Right? And the true value comes down to how valuable is it to you?
That's really good.
How valuable is it to you?
That's a bar.
Right? I tell folks this all the time. Look, if you're going to be sticking around this area for the next 5 years, buy. If you're going to be around here for that long, 1 to 2 years, rent. Right? Because you're not going to get that up value or, you know, that appreciation in 2 years that you'll be able to sell. Or you may have to come to the table with some money, but it's not going to be worth it. So how valuable is it to you? Do you want to raise your family in a home for the next 10 years? That's valuable, man.
Yeah.
That's valuable. Do you want to cut grass or, you know, tend to your property? If you don't want to, then find a condo. Find a townhouse. Right? It's what's the value to you, really. Where do you want to set your roots? That has no price tag.
Yeah.
Why do you think people were going $100,000 over? Is that everybody's like, oh, those people are crazy? I mean,
because crazy is relative.
Crazy to you, but not crazy to
right. And all the crazy people in that moment always later, 5 years later, look like geniuses.
And you know what else? The people that paid $100,000 over, because that property was a higher priced property. It wasn't a $200,000 property. It's now the people that paid $100,000 more, they got it back already because their house is up $100,000.
And everybody didn't pay $100,000 over. You said it. It was a price point. A lot of people, you know, some people paid $10,000, $20,000, $5,000. Maybe they didn't pay it at all. But the move that they made was a move for them in that moment. To answer your question, LOLs, my opinion, you know, housing affordability is always going to be an issue. It's going to continue to be an issue, in my opinion. And that's kind of why we were talking about earlier, these secondary markets. Yeah. You know, the market, you know, I think a lot of buyers, you gotta start looking at some ugly houses. You gotta start looking at some ugly neighborhoods. You gotta start looking at some things that everybody don't want to buy. Because if you want what everybody else wants, you got to pay for that premium. You got to pay for that.
Pay whatever everybody else paid.
And if the affordability is an issue for you, find something that fits your budget. Like me and Marcus have been saying in these previous pods. Start with your monthly desired monthly payment. Yeah. Start there.
That's what I tell people, man.
Start
How much
there.
do you want to pay?
How much do you want to pay per month?
I hang on that all the time. Like I feel like the affordability question is about you. Like you're talking about what is it worth to you, but you know, you're talking about the number. Okay, you might like this neighborhood, but the number monthly that it takes to be in this neighborhood, you're not comfortable with that. So so not so much don't dream about this neighborhood, but be realistic about where you really are. Exactly. Right? Because where you really are is in a $1,500 neighborhood, $1,700, whatever. That equates to 200 or 250 in the
Shout
price.
out to Manchester, Maryland.
Straight up.
Shout out to Busby.
So, yeah, Caroline County.
Yeah.
We can go.
Marlboro.
Virginia. We can go to Front Royal, or we can go to Linden.
Lexington Park.
We can go way out. But like,
shout out
just be
DMV.
realistic. Yeah, Funky County's part of DMV.
Y'all can have it. Where's that?
Fuck yeah, can.
Fall.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, just be realistic, and affordability changes from person to person. So
I think, yeah, and I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but I think that you also have to focus not so much on the headlines, because I think a lot of times, depending on who you listen to, that really affects your mindset. Mm-hmm. And so if you're constantly listening to a bunch of people that are telling you, you know, planting seeds of scarcity, planting seeds of doubt, planting seeds of not enoughness in your mind, mm-hmm. everything you see is going to reflect that reality and that belief system.
What were we talking about prior to the podcast?
We were talking about it, bro.
Mindset.
Your mindset. Your reticular activating system. Go down some rabbit holes, real estate wire squad.
Absolutely.
Your reticular activating system is a part of your brain that it's 100,000 years old that was developed to protect us. Small, very quick example. 2 berries in the woods. One berry is poisonous, the other berry is not. Your reticular activating system allows you to find and differentiate between the poisonous ones and the good ones. And then you see all the good ones everywhere because you need to survive. Fast forward to a more technologically advanced human species, our reticular activating system has not gone away, which is why anytime you think about, oh, I want to buy a new car, you start seeing that car everywhere. Mm-hmm. You start thinking about houses. Oh, now all of a sudden you see a bunch of ads. Social media amplifies that because they have an algorithm that's developed to show you exactly what you want to see. The more content you engage with, the more the algorithm sends you content of like kind. That's the reticular activating system externalized. Yep. If you're reading a bunch of articles and listening to a bunch of people talking about it's not enough, there's nothing to go around, everything's scarce, there's no money around, that's going to be a reality. You're going to act on that reality. Yeah. When you really understand the truth, which is money is everywhere, everything is abundant. There's more houses to go around. There's more than enough houses to go around. There's more than enough money to go around. Then you'll start to see, maybe I could run over here to Glen Burnie and grab me a $325,000 house that nobody else has bidding for. Right? Your reticular activating system kicks in. So that's a little bit of the mindset behind this question that I think is important, to talk about. When we're talking about money and we're talking about buying a house and things like that, because we were talking about it earlier, Pedro, which is like, the reality that's in your mind, it starts there first, and then it externalizes, and you start seeing that everywhere, and you start acting on that, on your belief system.
I know we gotta go, but you remember that transaction we had where the client wanted to buy her mother's house, but her mother's house needed renovations.
Oh yeah, Hamlin Street. We still in the middle of that deal. They doing the 203K right now.
So that's what I was getting. That's what I was getting at. Like what it was. Like she had a dream of what this house could be, and we talked about like it might not be the prettiest house in the neighborhood, but it is a house that has the ability to help your dream come to life. So you gotta be able to have a vision that goes beyond your nose in a sense. And now this lady, we did the loan in February or March, whatever it was, February, and she's in the middle of the renovations, and now this house will be what she wants it to be for her and her son. And that's the same thing for some of these other people that talk about affordability. What it looks like right now, you got a dream for what it might, what you want. Okay, there's ways to be able to create what you want, and that's the renovation loans. That's step one before you get to step 2, 3, 4, right? And there's all types of ways, but that's the reason why we're here, to be able to open up the doors and open up your eyes and let you think in a different way, because social media is not going to do it. It's the voices of the experts, the people that have boots on the ground. Yeah. Like we're the ones that be able to educate and make people comfortable in pursuing their dreams.
Absolutely.
I love it, brother. Thank you guys so much for jumping on the pod, man. If you are looking for us and you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. hit the like button. It really helps us out with the algo. Write a comment, like, subscribe, and share. Where can they find you at, Pedro?
They can find me on Instagram, Pedro Meneses, JR, and our team page is Monarch at Compass, DMV.
Love it. Where can they find you at, Coach?
At Theo's Mortgage Group and at Mortgage Coach Marcus.
And I am Dan Wheeler Sells Homes on all platforms. Thank you guys so much for jumping onto the pod. For all of us here at the Real Estate Wire, we are out.